What make you think I can't fit in a car?
Today, we're going to be talking about a pretty big situation involving a very big person, and getting right into it, the star of today's video is a female rapper that goes by the name Dank demoss that's currently trying to sue Lyft in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit on the basis that she was discriminated against because the driver declined her service because he believed that she wouldn't be able to fit into his vehicle. And just to get a picture in your head of how big this person actually is, I'm just gonna toss up a few images on the screen and you tell me if you believe that this person can fit into a small sedan. I'm also not sure of her exact weight, but most people are saying it's hovering somewhere around 500 pounds. And I've seen estimates saying slightly less or slightly more, even going up to 600 pounds. So to be fair, we're gonna be going with the middle ground of 500 for this video, which just saying that out loud is an insane number. And just for a bit of extra context before we get into the video itself, she basically called a Lyft so she could go to her cousin's party where they were gonna watch the Detroit Lions playoff game, and once the driver actually got there and noticed that he'd be hauling the equivalent of 4 people in one, he basically tried to break it down as nicely as possible that there'd be absolutely no way that she'd be able to fit into his vehicle, at least without causing some sort of significant damage to the vehicle itself or potentially jeopardize the safety of either passenger. But with the extra context out of the way, let's take a look at the clip.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What? For what? What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space in my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What I'm gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in a car?
I truly don't know what makes people so delusional. I don't know if maybe it's just the people around her always sugarcoating things and genuinely feeding her delusions that she isn't as big as she is, but there's no way that she doesn't understand what he means that you won't be able to fit. She's saying this as if she thinks that she's a normal-sized person, and just for the few of you that think there is a decent chance that she would be able to fit, I'm gonna toss up a picture on the screen of her in one of her music videos where she's sitting in the back of an SUV, and this really just gives you a better scale of how big she actually is. She's genuinely so big and wide that she's taking up the entire trunk of an SUV, which mind you is much larger than a sedan. So if she's barely able to fit in the trunk of an SUV, I don't think there's a high chance that she'd be able to fit into the back seat of a sedan, or at least not safely.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What I'm gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in a car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back. Believe me.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
If that's the case, why didn't you just call your best friend to bring you to your cousin's party? That also doesn't make any sense at all. Even if you can fit into your best friend's Mercedes that's allegedly the same size as this guy's car, like I said earlier, just because you can do it doesn't necessarily make it safe. Your friend also might be more willing to let you fit into their vehicle because they're your friend, so they might not care as much about the potential damage you may cause to their vehicle. And a lot of you might also think I'm stretching it when I'm saying potential damage to the vehicle, but especially if it's a smaller sedan, I'm genuinely not joking. If she is somewhere around 600 pounds or even 500 pounds, imagine finding some sort of 500-pound boulder somewhere and putting it in the back right seat of your small sedan. If you hit even the smallest pothole, there's a good chance that since the weight is so unbalanced, it might actually damage some of the components on that side of the car.
Are you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another lift.
And to be more specific with you, I got very tired.
I have to give this guy credit where it is due, because I don't think me, or really most people, would have been able to keep their composure as good as him. He's trying as hard as he can to be as nice as possible without just straight up calling it how it is. Bro just genuinely hit her with a, I have very tired tires. He's trying so hard to just beat around the bush and not tell her that you're way too big to fit in this car, and if you can, I'm afraid that you might blow my tires out or destroy my suspension.
What I got to do with your tires?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
Bro really just hit her with a, I've played these games before.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
You know, I'm really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Travis.
Okay. No.
Now that's the end of the clip, and after watching that, I do want to say that I really don't believe that this guy was in the wrong at all. And I know that Lyft's policies might say things like you can't discriminate against people based on weight just like anything else, but I also don't think that that means that a driver putting their personal vehicle on the line for this job should just be forced to take around someone that they don't believe that they should be taking around, as long as it's based on something that they deem reasonable, which means that you obviously shouldn't be able to decline people for the things like race, religion, or ethnicity. But if it's something like weight, and especially size when it gets to this point, if they think that that's a genuine concern, they should definitely be able to decline it, even if Lyft's rules say otherwise. And just because I'm saying that I don't believe that he was in the wrong, doesn't mean that I think she was in the wrong either. I really don't believe that either party was necessarily in the wrong here, but what I don't agree with is her trying to sue Lyft for this as if it's some sort of genuine discrimination here. And on the topic of the discrimination and her suing, after this situation pretty much blew up, this story has even been getting coverage on the news where they talk a bit more about the lawsuit and the potential discrimination, so we're going to be getting into that now.
Tell us how this all unfolded here, Jessica. Well, it all unfolded on video. Deja Bamlin whipped out her phone when this all happened. Now, the Lyft driver, he was kind enough and apologetic, but refused her a ride and said that she would not fit and that her weight couldn't be handled by his tires. Now she's filing a lawsuit. Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that, you know?
One, I'm not calling her a liar or anything, but I'm gonna just go ahead and doubt that she's fit in, or actually no, I'm not. Maybe she has fit in cars smaller than that when she was a baby. And the other thing is, I really just hate how everyone wants to play the victim nowadays. Literally anytime a situation like this plays out, the number one thing to do is to instantly play the victim card and usually try to sue as well. There's really just no more facing and accepting the truth and taking responsibility for yourself.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
But believe me,
Her saying that she already knew points to the idea that this isn't her first time that this happened, which really just makes this whole situation that much worse because it's happened probably multiple times before, and somehow none of those times were enough of a wake-up call for you to even try to do anything about your situation.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
Every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No,
He apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough. Dank demoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, like, it really hurt my feelings.
This kind of goes back into what I said earlier about everyone wanting to be the victim and not accept the truth. Just because someone's telling you the truth and how something actually is, and that hurts your feelings, doesn't mean that you should just be able to sue them or the company that they work for about it. Your feelings / ego being hurt shouldn't be punishable, which, when it really comes down to it, that's what's going on here.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, you know, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to have Christians in my car, or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
I'm really just not a big fan of most lawyers at all, because over half the time, they're usually fighting as hard as they possibly can in a case that they don't even believe in themselves. This guy just said the most outrageous statement ever, and you can see that he really doesn't even believe it himself, because at the end of it, he made sure to add in at least under the law. Because no matter what way you look at it, this situation is insanely different than pulling up and seeing a black guy and saying that I don't want you in my vehicle specifically because of your skin color. There's no other reason, no safety concern. I just don't like your skin color. Which is obviously, like I said, completely different. That's something that you can't change, something that doesn't affect anything, and something that absolutely should be protected and shouldn't even be in the same category as something like weight or size.
The lawsuit is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
Alright, fuck right off. I already know what type of story this is. Other full-figured folks. I truly just hate how much people sugarcoat things and really just feed into delusions nowadays. Other full-figured folks. What are you talking about? She's damn near as big as the car that she wanted to get into. What do you mean full figure? I genuinely think you'd have a better chance trying to load a full-sized refrigerator into a vehicle. And actually, speaking of refrigerator, maybe that's what they mean. Big as a full fucking refrigerator. But that's pretty much it on this situation. I'm not even gonna attempt to go too deep into the legality of it because, like I just said about lawyers earlier, most of these lawyers will obviously make a case sound good and try to fight as hard as they can for it when any sort of money is involved, because of course they will. That's all they want, money. So with that said, all I can really hope from this situation is that she genuinely loses this case. And I know that she sadly somehow probably is gonna win this case, but I just truly hope that she doesn't, because that just sets a whole new precedent where a bunch more people are gonna start trying this same thing, which will obviously be a bad thing because it makes more people okay with how big they are. And also, just right quick at the end of the video, probably should have tossed it in earlier, but even though I was a bit harsh here at some points, this isn't me saying that I hate fat people or anything like that. It's just that I do believe that people shouldn't be encouraging people and feeding into this delusion that being insanely obese is 100% acceptable and okay for you without also acknowledging the insane health risks and other complications that comes with it. And that's really where my main problem with this comes from. It's when people try to force their delusions onto other people. But like I said, that's pretty much it on this situation, and I'm not gonna hold y'all for too long, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.